What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new reaction, and today we're talking about schools. Today we're watching British Schools Explained. Now let's be serious for a second, okay? Honestly, I've probably picked the worst time possible to talk about schools, especially American schools. As most of y'all have probably heard by now, here in America these past like 2 or 3 weeks we've had multiple mass shootings. It's crazy that I even have to say that, but it's the truth. It's crazy. It honestly is. You know, it makes me sick to my stomach thinking about it. The major one that just happened like a few days ago, I think it was Uvalde. I'm probably saying that wrong, but it was somewhere in Texas. 19 second, third, fourth graders. Babies, gone. And I think it was like 2 or 3 teachers. I'm not for sure on the numbers, but my thoughts and prayers go out to those families. Like, I can't imagine sending my 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade baby to school for them to go and to socialize and to learn and grow as humans, and then get the news that they're not coming home, like, for nothing, like, for no reason. Like I said, it literally makes me sick to my stomach. I just wanted to say my thoughts and prayers go out to those families. Honestly, truly, can't imagine what they're going through. Absolutely not. 19 babies. I hope something changes. I really do. I wanted to address that. I know I've had some people comment and asking me what I think about it, and like, but besides that, British schools. I honestly, you know, when I think about British schools, I instantly go to Harry Potter. You know, I'd kind of be mad if I went to the UK and I went to school and it wasn't like Harry Potter. But I don't know that much. All I know is like y'all do your grades and like your years or levels differently, something like that. But besides that, I had no clue what y'all do different compared to American schools. But that's why we're here. We're here to learn. So we're about to get into it. Go on YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, try and hit 100K. We'll see you doing the UK theme tattoo. Drop a like if you want to see more reactions like this. Go check out my 2nd channel, link down in the description. But other than that, let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Siobhan Thompson and this is Anglophenia. Now, many of the most beloved stories from the UK are set in schools, all the way from Tom Brown's School Days to Harry Potter and the History Boys. But the British school system is remarkably different from that in the US, so much so that it's often the first thing that Americans ask me to explain to them. So, here is the Cliff's Notes version of how the British school system works, but study up because there's going to be an exam at the end of the video.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest. When I was in school, I was a kid that, like, if I really tried, I could have had all A's every year. But like, I like to mess around with my buddies in the back of the classroom, so I didn't. But like, when it came to tests, I don't think I studied for one test. Honestly, I just kind of winged it. And hey, I graduated, so.
Public schools and state schools. What Americans call private schools are called public schools in the UK, and what you call public schools, we call state schools. There are also some private schools that don't call themselves public schools, they call themselves private or independent schools, but most of the ones that Americans are thinking about, you know, where people live in a mansion and wear a very silly uniform, are called public schools. Got it?
See, that's confusing to me, because before I moved to where I ended up, like, finishing school and graduating, the school I went to before was a public school, but it was called an independent school. So like, it sounds like it would have been a private school, but it was actually a public school. That is so confusing. Like, that's crazy.
Most state schools these days are comprehensives, meaning that they accept students of every academic ability. But there was a system that's still in place in some areas of secondary modern and grammar schools. There, kids take a test at 11 to see what type of school they'll go to, the grammar schools being more academic and the secondary moderns more vocational.
See, in high school, we had the high school, and we could take vocational classes. Like, we had a vocational building where you did, like, you know, you learned skills or whatever, but like, it wasn't 2 completely separate schools. Like, you still had to go to the high school and do like your regular classes, and then you walked to the vocational school and did your skill classes. So that's kind of crazy that y'all just completely separate them like that.
Church schools. There's no separation of church and state in the UK, so many schools, both state and public, are church schools. Oddly, this doesn't translate into later church attendance, which is much lower in the UK than in the US. Sort of like how most people don't use algebra after the age of 18, I guess.
Facts. See, that's, talking about like religion in schools, when I went to public schools my entire life, and like, it was not okay for teachers to even talk about religion. Like, if they talked about it, like, it was a big no-no. Like, it's kind of like politics too. They weren't allowed to like give their views and like what like party they were with or anything like that. That was like a big no-no when it comes to public schools. But like my girlfriend, she went to a Catholic school, so like that's all it was talking about religion and stuff. So
uniforms. Pretty much all schools have some kind of uniform, ranging from a school jumper all the way up to the white tie and tails that they wear at Eton. The idea behind it is to create a sense of identity and school pride. See? Still fits.
When I went to the independent school, like before I moved here, we did have uniforms, and like it was a strict uniform code. Like you had to wear the school colors, you had to tuck your shirt in. If you didn't have a belt, they would literally give you a piece of yarn to tie around your waist. Like, yeah, I don't care if your pants fit perfectly. You had to have something around your waist like that. But then I moved here and there was no dress code at all. Like the one thing you couldn't wear was like hats. Like what the heck?
Prefects. In British schools, older students can be chosen to be prefects. Being a prefect sounds super cool, but in reality it mostly entails policing the lunch line and stopping the younger kids from hitting each other.
What the
You do
heck?
get a cool badge though, so that's something.
So it's
Most
like a
schools
hall
also
monitor.
have a head boy and a head girl who attend school council meetings and give a speech at prize giving at the end of the year. Oh, prize giving is the closest thing that we have to a graduation ceremony.
Wait,
It's
y'all
a-
don't have graduation? Huh? No. I feel like you gotta have something, like, or they just like, all right, that's the last bell. See y'all later. Like you're adults now. Go enjoy it. What?
National exams are a huge part of the British school experience. It's all very simple. You take GCSEs at 16 and then A-levels at 18, which are kind of like AP exams, but different. Also, in Scotland, they study for Highers instead of A-levels, and GCSEs used to be called O-levels. Also, AS levels happen in the middle of A-levels. Look, this is the most complicated
It
thing,
really
I
is.
promise.
See, we have the ACT and the SAT, and like you don't really study for the ACT. It's kind of just like everything you've learned all put into one, and like whatever you get on the ACT, that score will help you get into like colleges or whatever. Like, but if you take the ACT, you don't have to take the SAT unless you want to. Like, it's confusing too.
Vision. This is just what we call studying for exams. It's not a biggie, just a lot of people seemed confused about it. Juniors and seniors. Instead of the American system of elementary school, middle school and so on, most British schools are divided into juniors and seniors.
Huh.
Junior school, also called primary school, is for 4 to 11-year-olds, and senior school is for 11 to 18-year-olds. At some public schools they divide it up a little differently. They have pre-prep from 4 to 7, prep from 7 to 13, and then senior from 13 to 18.
Yeah, see, ours, hang on, let's go back. Ours is like the pre-prep.
Prep from 7 to 13, and then senior from 13.
Yeah, that's what ours is kind of like. It's, let's see, you have kindergarten, then you have 1st through like 5th, I think, and that's elementary school, and then 6th through 8th is middle school, and then 9th through 12th is high school. So like ours is kind of separated like y'all's public schools.
13 to 18. Sixth form. The last 2 years of school is called the sixth form, divided into the lower sixth and upper sixth. The name is a hangover from a previous, more complicated system of naming classes which has stuck around for some reason. In many schools, sixth formers are given a lot more freedom than the other students, often being allowed to wear their own clothes instead of school uniform.
Oh, dang.
Cool.
Yeah.
University. You apply to do a single subject at British universities and only study that one thing. No maths or language requirements or any of that other stuff that you have to do at American colleges. Bachelor's degrees generally take 3 years, and you know what, let's just cover this in another video. It's very complicated.
That's smart though. Like when you go to college, you have to take all these like I think they're called. I don't even know. I went to college for like 2 semesters. Okay, but like it's like mandatory classes you have to take when they have nothing to do with what you're going for. Like at all. Like it's just random classes that everybody has to take, and then you have like maybe 2 classes that are going towards what you're actually studying for. See, y'all just cut out the BS. I like that. I like that.
So there we go. Are there any things about British schools that you have questions about?
Listen, that was a lot of information to take, right? I didn't think our schools were that different, but apparently they really are. I'm sure it's not that confusing if I actually like wrote it out and looked at it all and like really understood it, but that was some confusing stuff right there. Like y'all help me out down in the comments, especially like the difference between the publics and the privates and the independents, and Too many big words for me, alright? But alright guys, that is going to do it for British Schools Explained. We got a lot of different. Y'all want to see more reactions like this? Let me know down in the comments. Let me know by hitting that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 100K once we do get a UK themed tattoo. By the way, last video was my 500th video uploaded. Can y'all believe that? That's crazy. I've uploaded, filmed, and edited 500 videos all by myself. What the heck? Hopefully we got 500 more in us. Can't do it without y'all support, so thank you guys so much. Make sure y'all go out today. Spread love, spread kindness, do something nice for somebody today. I love you guys so much, I really do. JT Rex, and I'm out. Peace.